One of the main things that we look at in human factors is an issue called conspicuity. It simply means that the attributes of an object make it stand out and be differentiated from other aspects in the same environment. So primarily it's vision, it can be also audition, it can, as I said earlier, be vibration and so on. We've done some very large projects here in the past few years. One of those involved the middle section of a wind turbine tube. It was being hauled towards Michigan. It was about 30 minutes after sunset in a period called civil twilight. The collision occurred when the wind turbine tube strayed over the center line slightly, and at the same time, a large American sedan moved towards the center line. We went out and recreated the situation at the Michigan International Speedway at the same time of night. We measured everything with respect to the vehicles in the accident. The headlight luminance, which is equivalent to brightness coming out of the light. The headlamp illuminance, which is the amount of light falling on a surface. We captured the ambient level of illumination as the sun set over the same period of time. Then we were able to factor that into our engineering analysis. All that material then was integrated into a successful animation that accurately, scientifically portrayed what had gone on out there. We also had we've had several of these things, but this was a bus accident
that involved pedestrian hits. That pedestrian was crossing the road at the time of a bus passing through an intersection and ultimately colliding with it. With one of those specific projects is laser scan the accident site, the subject vehicle that was involved, and then lined it back up on the roadway, and based on testimony and the data that we find and the calculations that we make for that specific project, back the vehicle up and again show the sequence of events as they occur. Typically they're asking questions of why did this happen, how did this happen, and it's typically a line of sight issue or a conspicuity issue. That's when I work with some of our other folks here to try to assess. I'll put together the accident reconstruction, the timing, and how the vehicle is moving, and then they can look at it from more of a human factors aspect to show why the accident occurred and what might have contributed to either distractions or not being able to see the pedestrian.
There is another aspect of conspicuity that applies to industrial situations as well as commercial aviation, commercial busing, trucking, and premise liability in general. And that's with the issue of labels and warnings. We're asked to go out and assess what kinds of warnings were present at the scene, within the facility, or within instructions and manuals that a user has misread or misused. ESI oftentimes has been asked also to go for what we call industrial projects that are non-litigative, but to generate user manuals and to generate warnings and labels. We also do that in risk assessments for various customers.